Hi friends, glad you can join me. It's Miss Fredelin of the Children's Director. We have an amazing series that we're going to continue on. If you haven't joined us and just joining us right now, we're talking about how everybody has a part. You have a part to play in school, you have a part to play in your family, you have a part to play even in church, or even when you're playing a board game. All our lessons are about cooperation. What is cooperation? Cooperation is working together to do something great that you are unable to do alone. I was just asked the other week of why do we always do worship before we go into lesson? We go into worship because we want to thank God for who He is. We want to thank Him for what He's done in our life. And we also want to thank Him for His Word, as we're given the Bible of His truth, and also because of His promises. He delivers on His promises and He's faithful to us. So I want you guys to stand up on your feet and let's praise God for everything He's doing in our lives and for all the promises He's fulfilling.
Come together, working hand in hand. It's easy if we all carry the load. Look at all we can do to build a better world. When you can trust in me and I can trust in you. So put your hands together. Together we can do anything, anything we all want. One voice, one heart, one love. Whoa. We're gonna help this city all together now. We make a better story when we help each other out. With peace and understanding, you'll never walk alone. You can trust in me and I can trust in you. The time is here, the time is now to take a stand and make it count. So put your hands together. Together we can do anything, anything we all want. One voice, one heart, one love. Whoa, put your hands together. Together we can do anything, anything we all want. One voice, one heart, one love. One life, one voice. Come on now, shout it out. One life, one voice, come on now and shout it out. One life, one voice, come on now and shout it out. One life, one voice, come on now and shout it out. So put your hands together. Together we can do anything, anything we all want. One voice, one heart, one love. Whoa, put your hands together. Together we can do anything, anything we all want.
Do me a favor and repeat after me. Together we are one, and we can do anything. Together we are one, and we can do anything. We are one voice, one heart, one love. We are one voice, one heart, one love. Remember, we can do anything as long as God is on our side, and He's always on our side. Let's look and tune into the story and how the cooperation is needed within the Israelites to get through the troubles that they're about to face in Exodus 17, 8 through 13.
It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verses 8 through 13.
God had freed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt and led them into the desert. But with no home of their own, the Israelites were still wide open to enemy attack as they traveled. One evening, as Moses walked through the camp, his assistant Joshua raced up.
Amalekites!
Where? How many?
Just a few men right now. They attacked at the rear, where many of the women and children are. But we beat them back.
They'll come in full force tomorrow.
Moses turned to survey the land around them in the last rays of the setting sun. The whole valley of Rephidim spread out before them. Nearby, a high hill provided a lookout for the whole countryside.
We have no army.
We'll have to fight. You choose our best men and get ready for battle in the morning.
Will you come with us?
No,
Moses pointed at the hilltop.
I'll climb up there and hold up the walking stick that God gave me.
Both men looked at the sturdy staff in Moses' hand. It was no ordinary stick. Moses had lifted the staff when God had parted the water of the Red Sea so the Israelites could escape.
Yes, sir. I'll call the men.
In the great chill before dawn, Joshua and his group of inexperienced fighters prepared for battle against the Amalekites.
I've never held a sword.
God has saved us many times. He can do it again.
As the ragtag army gathered at one end of the valley, Moses climbed the hill with his brother Aaron and his friend Hur.
So, Moses, what's the plan?
Yeah, those Amalekites got some mean fighters.
We'll call on God.
As the three men crested the hill, they turned to look back. The rising sun flooded the valley. They could see Joshua and the Israelites just below. At the far end of the valley, a vast swarm of Amalekites rushed forward.
Oh, more Amalekites than bees in a hive.
Within minutes, the two groups clashed. It was clear from the very beginning that the Amalekites had the upper hand.
They'll wipe us out in no time.
Wait.
At the very crest of the hill, Moses grabbed his staff and raised both hands high in the air.
Our God is stronger than any enemy.
In a short time, the tide seemed to turn.
Well, what do you know? Joshua's pushing them back.
The Israelites steadily beat back the Amalekite army. But as the sun rose and the heat increased, Moses' arms grew tired. Little by little, his arms sank down.
Uh-oh, the Amalekites have busted through our line right there.
We were doing so well.
God, help us.
With an effort, Moses lifted his hands high again. Joshua had formed a strong band of fighters, and once again, the Israelites surged forward. Moses lowered his arms to stretch.
Ah, my back!
What just happened? Joshua had them.
Moses stepped forward to see, raising his hands high again. Aaron turned to stare at his brother.
It's your hands. When your hands are raised up toward God, we're winning.
Yeah, and when you drop them, those fool Amalekites start to win.
Yes, but I can't do this all day.
Moses' arms began to shake.
Hold it one more minute. I got a rock-solid plan. Aaron?
Together, Aaron and Hur rolled a huge stone to the place where Moses stood.
Now, you set yourself right down, Mo.
Carefully, Moses lowered himself onto the rock, fighting to keep his hands high in the air.
My arms!
We got it, brother.
Aaron and Hur each stood on one side of Moses and held up a hand.
Phew!
For the rest of the day, Aaron and Hur stood right beside Moses, keeping his hands steady. By sunset, Joshua and the Israelites completely defeated the Amalekites.
Look at him run!
The Amalekites had been defeated by God's power, but it was only by working together with his friends that Moses had been able to keep his hands lifted high all day.
The battle between the Amalekites took loads of cooperation. Loads and loads of cooperation, that is. Imagine if Hur wasn't there to help, or if Aaron wasn't there to help. They wouldn't have been able to roll the stone for Moses to sit, and they wouldn't have one friend for each hand to help Moses hold him up high. They even needed God's help. Sometimes we think we can do it all by ourselves, but we need to call one friend or another friend. I want you guys to think of this. Imagine having breakfast and you want to open that jar of peanut butter or the jar of jelly, but it's a brand new jar. Sometimes it's hard for me to open it up as a grown-up. Sometimes I have to ask mom or dad. Sometimes even mom and dad can't even open up the jar because it's so tight that we have to have a jar opener. It's the little things that we need to help us succeed to create greater and bigger things. So don't forget how you can cooperate in any area of your life, whether it's in school, helping out a friend with their homework, or even a new kid at school and just showing them where the cafeteria is. There's many ways you can cooperate and work with other people in order to make great things happen. Jesus once said, "Do unto others what you want done to you." It's as simple as treating the others the way you want to be treated and working as a team, not for your own selfish reasons, but to let others succeed, just for the greater vision of God. I'll see you guys all next week. Don't forget this month's memory verse. 2 people are better than 1. They can help each other in everything they do. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9.